If you're staring at a budget spreadsheet and wondering whether a 65-inch interactive display is really worth the investment, you're not alone. Most of us have been burned by tech that looks amazing on the spec sheet but ends up sitting idle because it doesn't match the way we actually work. The fear of wasting money on the wrong piece of equipment is especially real for schools and training departments that have to stretch every dollar while still delivering an engaging experience. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So, does the Promethean ActivPanel EDLA 65-inch live up to the hype, or is it just another pricey screen that will collect dust? I spent the last few weeks watching a few demo videos, reading the official product pages, and talking with a couple of IT managers who have already installed it in their classrooms. What I found is a mix of genuine strengths that can transform a teaching or meeting space, plus a handful of practical compromises that you should weigh before pulling the plug on your current setup. Let's start with the most obvious benefit, the sheer visual real estate. A 65-inch 4K UHD panel gives you a crisp canvas that makes detailed diagrams, high-resolution images, and even video content pop. In a typical high school science class, a teacher can pull up a molecular model at native resolution and students can see every bond without squinting. In a corporate boardroom, a presenter can run a 4K product demo and every stakeholder, even those sitting at the back of the room, gets a clear view. The size feels less like a screen and more like a shared workspace, which encourages people to step up and interact rather than stay glued to a laptop. What makes the ActivPanel EDLA a bit different from other large displays is the built-in Android operating system. You don't need a separate PC just to launch Google Slides, YouTube, or the myriad education-focused apps that Promethean bundles with the hardware. The interface is familiar to anyone who has used a tablet, and the pen input works right out of the box. For a teacher who wants to annotate a PDF textbook on the fly, the stylus feels natural, and the multi-touch capability lets a small group of students collaborate simultaneously. In a meeting, a facilitator can pull up a mind map, have two people edit it at once, and then seamlessly switch to a PowerPoint deck from a connected laptop without missing a beat. That brings us to the flexibility of use case variety, a phrase the manufacturer loves. Because the panel runs Android, it can be a standalone hub for quick lessons, video calls, or interactive quizzes. At the same time, there's a full suite of ports including HDMI, USB-C, and a traditional USB hub so you can attach a Windows PC, a Mac, or even a document camera. In practice, this means you can start a class with a preloaded lesson on the Android side, then switch to a lab computer for a live simulation, all without unplugging anything. The transition is as smooth as clicking a button on the screen, which is a real time saver for busy educators and presenters. Now, no product is perfect, and the hidden trade-offs become clear once you picture the panel in your actual space. First, the physical footprint is substantial. A 65-inch screen weighs close to 200 pounds, so you'll need a sturdy wall mount or a commercial floor stand. Installation isn't a weekend DIY project. Most buyers end up hiring a professional to ensure the panel is level, securely bolted, and properly wired for power and data. If your room is on the smaller side, the screen can dominate the wall and make the space feel cramped, especially if you still need room for whiteboards, flip charts, or furniture. Second, the Android OS, while convenient, has limitations. The app ecosystem is great for education tools and basic productivity, but if you rely on niche Windows-only software, say, a specialized engineering simulation or a legacy ERP system, you'll still need to keep a separate computer hooked up. The panel doesn't run those apps natively, so you'll be juggling two environments. That isn't a deal-breaker for most teachers, but for a corporate setting where a single workstation is expected to handle everything, it could add a layer of complexity. Third, because the panel is aimed at the education market, the built-in software leans heavily toward lesson planning and student engagement. While you can sideload other